Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Silver. I am your host of Crown Different, and I would like our beautiful queen to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Hilary Powers, and I am your reigning All-American Classic Mrs.
Hilary, could you tell us a bit about your pageant system?
Sure. The All-American system is a wonderful system, especially for those who, like me, who decided to take a little bit of a hiatus and then come back into the pageant world. It's truly a sisterhood. We have a lot of different titles, a lot of different opportunities to compete, from everything from a Miss division all the way up into our elite division, which I don't even think there's an age cap, an age limit on that. So my division, the Mrs. Classic, is a pretty unique division because not only do you have to be married to compete in this division, but you also have to be plus size. So that's something that is a little bit different than a lot of other organizations that offer plus size divisions or Mrs. divisions. This is a combination of both. So that's one of the unique things about the All-American system that I absolutely love. The other thing that I love about the All-American system is that we support veterans. We support active duty military and first responders. Our national platform is Operation We Care. And one of the things that we do is provide care packages to folks that are deployed or are on the front lines, especially of natural disasters or other issues. And we pack up supplies, not just snacks, but hygiene supplies, books, and other information that they might be able, that we're allowed to send over to different bases overseas. But the best part about it is packing the boxes. That's one of the things we do during the All-American weekend is we have a packing event and we pack some boxes. And interestingly enough, each box costs approximately $20 to ship. So with our help, Team Ohio raised enough to cover 20 of those boxes all by ourselves. So that was a pretty good accomplishment. I loved doing that because every time I got to pick up a box and go start to put stuff in it, I was like, I paid for this one and I paid for this one, and this is great. So it's really nice to see and have that tangible benefit for your community. So that's another thing that I love about the All-American organization. And the final thing that I really, really like is Ocean City, Maryland. It's a fun place to go. Like up until last year, I'd never been to Ocean City, Maryland. I didn't realize that it was such a vibrant seaside town. And we had so much fun there, just seeing all the different things, visiting the people, and even going to the beach. Even it was a little bit cold, I'm not gonna lie, a little windy, but we still got to go to the beach. So for this Ohio girl, that was amazing.
What about your platform?
Well, there I operate with two platforms. Our national platform is Operation We Care. So that's one of the things that I love doing is helping to raise money and pack boxes and ship them out to our soldiers, to our deployed soldiers and sailors, and to our first responders. My personal platform is mental health awareness. Self-care is healthcare. It's absolutely critically important to take care of yourself. It's been shown in several different studies that adequate self-care reduces the need for dangerous medications such as benzodiazepines and other things that might be addictive. So if we're taking care of ourselves and doing that preliminary self-care, not just taking a bubble bath or, going out shopping, that's what you typically think of when you think of self-care. I talk about self-care being healthcare, meaning visiting your therapist. If you need medication, take your medication on schedule. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself first, because again, you can't breathe, you can't pour from an empty cup. And one of the things they tell you when you're flying, if there's a disaster, to put your own oxygen mask on first. And that's what we're trying to educate people to do is put that oxygen mask on first. Take care of yourself and everything else will fall into place along with it.
Hilary, will you tell us what you have found with the purpose with your crown?
My biggest purpose is community service. I look at a crown as more of a megaphone, an opportunity to amplify my voice as opposed to just being random Hillary, mom, grandma, wife, sister. I now have this piece of hardware and it makes people stand up and pay attention. So that's an interesting thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you're out in public and you're wearing your crown or you're wearing your sash, it draws attention. So it's an opportunity for me to use that attention and to use that important platform to talk about community service, to talk about the importance of taking care of your community, to talk about self-care, to talk about helping our deployed soldiers, sailors, and our first responders. It's an opportunity to stand on that platform and share what's important in life. So that's one of the major things that I've taken away from competing with the All-American system.
The reason why you started competing in pageants.
Well, let's see. Way back in the day, the local pageant was the Cherry Blossom Festival, right? And everybody has a festival pageant close to them. And my friend Wendy was like, I want to do this beauty pageant. And I'm like, I play softball. You know, I roll around in the dirt. You know, how does this fit in with me? And she's like, well, I think it would be really fun to get dressed up all pretty and do our hair and our nails, and it will be fun. Okay, that's great. So I asked my mom for the whopping $25 entry fee. It was so expensive. And she said, if I pay for this, you're going to do this. Whether Wendy backs out or not, you're going to do this. And of course, you know, teenage Hilary thinks she knows it all, right? So yeah, everything's going to be fine. Well, as predicted, Wendy dropped out. So of course, my mom, in this energy to make me feel like I'm following through on something and that I'm not just giving up, she made me go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I won. I won in a big poofy dress and it was pink, and I know it was light pink, and it had white lace and it had little bows on the sleeves, and I thought I was just everything because I won my first little local pageant and everything was great. And then I went to the next level, and boy, was that an awakening. I learned so much going to the next level of the fair and festival pageant where all the fair queens go to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned so much. You know, either you win or you learn, and I learned that weekend. But I got bitten by the bug. Well, time happened, life happened, had a baby, settled down, got married, the whole 9 yards. And I decided that, you know, I was done. I didn't want to compete anymore. I was done. Well, fast forward to working through this with my family and my husband, a couple of my friends were like, hey, we're going to do one last ride. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, one last pageant, you in? And I'm like, no, I'm too old for this. And of course, I lost that battle, apparently. Um, so Team Ohio got together, my friends Ronnie and Ariane, we decided that we were going to do one last pageant together. Ariane's not retiring, but both Ronnie and I are. Mm-hmm. So we decided this is going to be our last time together. So we went as Team Ohio. We do appearances together. We've adopted a new Team Ohio member. Her name is Angel. She lives in the Dayton area. And we do all kinds of crazy fun things together. And even last year for parties and things like that, we even coordinated our outfits. So we had a great time just being together and enjoying the sisterhood. And you know, now that it's almost over, and by the time this airs, we'll be less than a month away from the national pageant. It seems like a whirlwind. And what's funny is I had to put my crown on backward today because I've worn my crown so much and done so many appearances. I lost a stone out of my crown.
But see, that's the quality of a good queen there, because dirty sash and losing crowns, that means you've been working.
That's right.
It's not just collecting dust and looking pretty, you know.
That's right. We stand a working queen. And that's one of the hashtags that I use when I post on social media is #DirtySashClub, because I think it's absolutely critical to go out and represent your community. Once you win, it's not just, you know, like you said, putting it on the shelf and looking pretty. Now I've won. Now the real work begins. Mm-hmm. So I've done more than 30 appearances this year. So it has been a whirlwind. Again, Team Ohio has done a lot of them together. I've done some on my own. We've done many together. We've just had a blast. So everything from parades to community service to we all went to the Miss Ohio pageant together. We've just had an absolute blast. So I can't say enough good things about my year. It's been exhausting and fun, and I can't believe it's almost over.
Hilary, how and why would you tell women of our age to compete in a pageant?
Well, I think it comes back to my platform, self-care is healthcare. I think that doing something for yourself, something that doesn't benefit anybody else but you, taking your time to maybe have your hair done, get your nails done, take time and prepare for interview, take time and work through your wardrobe, take time for yourself. And I think that's something critical that a lot of women, especially professional women over 30, don't take the time to do. They're so invested in themselves, their families, their spouses, you know, their communities. They just don't have the opportunity to take care of themselves. And I think that's one of the things that pageantry over 30 does is it spurs me to take better care of myself. There's some days where I get up and I'm just like, oh, just not feeling it today. And then I'm like, well, everybody at work knows I compete in pageants. And if I show up looking like a wet mop, they're going to look at me sideways. So, you know, I need to make sure that I am presenting myself professionally. And some days that's my motivation for getting up and getting moving is, okay, well, this is something that I chose to do. I'm representing everybody. I need to get out there and represent.
That's great. Hilary, would you tell our viewers what you do outside the world of pageantry?
I'm a very interesting, multifaceted person. One of the things that I like to do is I like to build and race remote control cars. Right now, my current build is a short course truck. It's a 1/8 scale vehicle, so it's pretty big. Her name is Carol, after Carol Danvers, who is Captain Marvel, in case you didn't know. She's my favorite Marvel character, but her name is Carol, and she's my truck. She's pink and black and sparkly silver, of course. So, you know, when you get out to the track, it's a dirt track, and you know, I'm generally the only woman that's out there. Yeah, and of course I show up with my pink truck, and I looking all cute, and then I blast them, and it's great. So that's fun. Another thing I like to do is I like to paint miniatures and play a game called Blood Bowl. It's very similar to fantasy football mixed with Warhammer. So it's the little tiny miniatures, and I have a fun little, in fact, I should have brought it for the interview and I didn't. My fun little magnifying glasses with they little flip down magnifiers with a little light on them. I look like a little old man fixing watches. But painting these little tiny, the bases are 28 millimeters, so they're very small. They're about the size of a 50-cent piece, maybe closer to a silver dollar. And the miniatures are very small and very detailed. And I use little tiny paintbrushes and little tiny drops of paint to paint them in different shades. So it's very calming and very, very calming. I also have my traditional girly pursuits. I like my cricket. I like to travel with my husband. We're former Disney pass holders. We used to live in Florida. So we used to be at Walt Disney World almost every weekend. So living in Ohio, I do miss that. But I did trade that for an amazing granddaughter. So I can't complain too much about that. But moving back from Florida to Ohio was essentially for my granddaughter, who we get to see at least 1 or 2 days a week. So outside of pageants, I'm pretty busy. And after retiring here in October, entering the new phase. Luckily, I was approved to run a Miss Ohio local. So going back to where it all started for me, I will be directing the Miss Greater Columbus and Miss Central Ohio programs, and those will be in February. So no rest for me. Once the All-American pageant is over in October, I'll hit the ground running, start planning for Miss Greater Columbus.
That's great. Well, Hilary, thank you so much for taking the time out and allowing Crown Different to interview you, myself, and look forward to seeing what the future holds, and we'll follow you on social media. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very, very much. It was good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.